Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome back in. The Dan K Show presents the AAU College Hockey Division II Nationals Reveal. We have 20 teams from around AAU College Hockey Nation converging upon Duval, baby. Jacksonville, Florida sets the scene. They play the host. The Sunshine State will crown one Division II champion. Before we can talk about who will win it all on upcoming shows, we must reveal to you tonight who will play at the AAU Division II Nationals. There will be 5 pools of teams. Each pool will have a winner crowned. Those 5 teams will advance. 3 more teams, wild cards as we call them, Charlie Day once called himself a wild card, will join those 5 in an 8-team quarterfinal single elimination style. 8 will become 4. Those 4 will play a semifinal single elimination game to get to the national championship. 6 days, 6 games for one winner. We now get into the reveal. Dan K is my name, and I am here solo style to bring you through today's selection show. The number 1 seed overall is where we start this thing in Pool A. Pool A will have our 1, 10, 11, and 20 seed. We remind the folks at home for the first time since 2019, the AAU National Tournament has gone back to its snake-style pool play creation. In past years, there have been some moves, some shakes to try to mix and match and give the number 1 overall seed what many thought might be the best path to advancing out of their pool in the early going. This go around, the snake style has been entailed. So 1, 10, 11, and 20 will make up the 4-team Pool A. And that number 1 overall team going 18-4-1 out of College Hockey South, it is the Owls. Who? The Owls of Florida Atlantic University. This team has been dominant all season long in the difficult to deal with College Hockey South Conference. They will have their test in front of them, though, with the 4 teams they play with. First, we go to number 10. Out of the Empire, it's Farmingdale State. Farmingdale State College, the Rams went 14-10-3 this season. They sit at the number 2 seed. Their day 1 opponent, the 11 overall seed out of the ACCHL, the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest, 15-7-0 this season. The Demon Deacons are a hard-hitting, high-flying squad out of the ACCHL. That will be a must-watch matchup on day 1 of the Division II tournament between Wake Forest and Farmingdale State. Finally, rounding out the first 4 teams to punch their ticket to AAU Nationals, the 20 seed, the last team to make it in, Lynn University out of College Hockey South. They know Florida Atlantic well. They know College Hockey South competition well. They'll have to take on Wake Forest and Farmingdale State as well. We remember the story of the schedule throughout this thing. You will play 3 games in your pool. First, the 1 overall will play the 4 in the pool. The 2 will play the 3. That's day 1. Day 2, the 1 will play the 3. The 2 will play the 4. And the final day of pool play, the top seed will play the 2nd highest seed. The 3rd seed will play the 4th highest seed. So day 1 in Pool A, Florida Atlantic will take on Lynn University in an all-College Hockey South battle, as Farmingdale State will take on Wake Forest. Day 2, Florida Atlantic will take on Wake, as Farmingdale State will take on Lynn University. And day 3, the Florida Atlantic Owls will take on the Rams of Farmingdale State as Wake Forest takes on Lynn University. Remember, 1 team will win it all and guarantee themselves a spot in the quarterfinals. It's all about points. It's all about wins. It's all about racking up as much as you can, goal scoring, early goal scoring. We look at this thing right now. It is all about getting as many points as you can to try to be one of the 3 wild cards if you cannot win it all. We go to Pool B now. Starting things off with the number 2 overall seed in this tournament, it is the Gators out of Bishop University. Bishop went 13-3-0 this year. Bishop from the New England Independent Hockey Conference. Bishop's University is a powerhouse this season, a team I've had a chance to watch a little bit of, a team that's going to bring a lot to this pool in Pool B. but they're going to have to deal with a team from the upstate New York Collegiate Hockey League at number 9 overall and the second seed in this Pool B. It's SUNY Brockport. Anytime you put SUNY in front of a school, you know you're getting that New York brand of hockey. They're used to cold weather, they're used to lots of snow, and more importantly, they're used to warming things up with some physicality. At number 3 in Pool B, number 12 overall in the tournament, it is none other than the 13-7-1 Buccaneers of Massachusetts Maritime Academy. Mass Maritime comes into this one also out of the New England Independent Hockey Conference. They join Bishops as the two sides representing the New England Hockey Conference in Pool B. Finally, the 19th overall seed, the second to last team to make their way into this tournament, trying to play Cinderella. 5-16-1, the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech, but never sleep on the Ramblin' Wreck. That is Georgia Tech rolling into the Division II Nationals. They will play Bishops on day 1 of the tournament in a South B Northeast battle as SUNY Brockport will take on Mass Maritime. Day 2 of the tournament, Bishops will take on Mass Maritime as SUNY takes on Georgia Tech. And day 3 of the pool play, Bishops against SUNY, Mass Maritime against Georgia Tech. That is your Pool B. Lucas and I always selected any one of these tournaments or pool plays similar to the FIFA World Cup. A pool of death, as you call it, a group of death, as some call it, the toughest group to get out of. For me this season, for me this year, that group will be in Pool C. Dan K's group of death leads off with a 3 overall seed. High Point University Panthers at 22-6-2. High Point out of the ACCHL with 22 victories this year, more than any other team to punch their ticket to this national tournament. This team knows how to win. This team knows how to play right, and this team is always on the recruiting trail. We bumped into High Point a few times on the road this season with the Dan K show covering the game at the junior ranks. They will be joined by the 8 seed Penn State University of Harrisburg Nittany Lions, 14-9-1 out of the Delaware Valley Collegiate Hockey League. This is a team that is going to be testing High Point all the way through at 13. And the third team, the third seed to join Pool C, it's going to be none other than the Hurricanes of Miami. University of Miami Hurricanes right there, 9-11-2 on the season. Don't let the losing record fool you, though. Any team that comes out of college hockey south can bring the pain, and you know what? It's got to be pretty easy recruiting hockey players to come down to Miami, all right? Look, come on down to Coral Gables. We're just a little stone's throw from the beach. We're getting our suntans. As a man looking out the window nearly at you, Tampa here in beautiful Palm Harbor, Florida, I was sold on Florida. The folks going to Miami are as well. Then finally, the 4th seed in this pool and the 18 overall at 16-8-0. It's the Paul Smith's College Bobcats out of the upstate New York Collegiate Hockey League. Paul Smith's, again, you look at Miami. Miami, a 3 seed with a losing record this year. It tells you how tough things have been down south. Paul Smith's with that winning record at a 750 clip on the season. They've taken care of business. You cannot pick your opponents how they're going to do each year. You can put a schedule together. You can pick who you play, but you can't pick how they're going to fare. For Paul Smith's, a 16-win season, nothing to be shy about here coming to the tournament. This is anybody's ballgame. When you get a 16-8 team serving as your lowest seed in your pool, you know you're in the pool of death. That's High Point on day 1. They'll take on that Paul Smith side in an ACCB upstate New York battle. Penn State Harrisburg will play Miami on day 1. Day 2, High Point versus Miami. Day 3, High Point versus Paul Smith's. Penn State will play Paul Smith on day 2, and then Penn State will play High Point on the final day of pool play in Pool C. We go to Pool D now. Pool D, it is a problem, that Maria once had. It was, how do you solve a problem like Anna Maria? And I'll tell you what, Anna Maria College, the AMCATs as they are called, lost one time this entire season. They serve as the 4 overall. I'll tell you what, when you go 15-1, it ain't often that you come into a tourney as the number 4 seed. This is a team with a little chip on the shoulder coming in saying, no one can beat us. No one can touch us. We're going to win it all. I think they just may. We'll be making our predictions in the lead up to the tournament coming soon on some future content. I may just be teaching you all why I think Anna Maria has what it takes to win it all. Never sleep on the Cats, the El Gatos right here. El Gato Gigantes, the Cats looking to come up big out of the New England Independent Hockey Conference as the number one overall in Pool D. Joining them in Pool D is the 7 overall in the country, 19-6-1, the Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders. This is a Middle Tennessee State team that went 19-6-1 on the season in College Hockey South. You got a record of that ilk in College Hockey South. You're having a successful season. They are joined by the 14 overall, the Golden Bears out of Kutztown University, who went 9-6-4 this year. A little bit of a lighter schedule, couple ties on the docket this go around. Kutztown plays close hockey. They play close games. Delaware Valley group right there, joined by the 17 overall and the final team to make it in the Pool D. It's Embry-Riddle's Eagles. These guys are aeronautical, okay? These guys are flying through the air. Dan K, afraid of heights. Dan K, afraid of flights. Don't catch feelings, catch flights. Is that what they say? Or catch flights, not feelings, however you want to say it. Dan K's got feelings about flights and he doesn't like soaring through the air, but he does because he works in the sports industry. And you got to travel around when you're broadcasting. Got to travel around when you're flying. And the boys at Embry-Riddle do it better than most. Embry-Riddle out of College Hockey South, the fourth and final team in Pool D. They will play Anna Maria on day one. Middle Tennessee State will play Kutztown on day one of pool play. Then Anna Maria will play Kutztown on day two. Middle Tennessee State against Embry-Riddle. And finally, day three of pool play, Anna Maria versus Middle Tennessee State in a must-see showdown. I think that's the game of pool play for me. Kutztown taking on Embry-Riddle. Pool E, the final four teams to hear their name called here. After this, it's sayonara to the rest of the season for any team not named. In Pool E, we start off with South Florida. The Bulls out of College Hockey South, 18-5-1 on the season. USF is synonymous with winning at this level of the game. They have done it forever and ever. They continue to do so. And they're going to travel up to Jacksonville. They're pretty close to me, USF, okay? And that's about a 2.5-hour jaunt, maybe 3.5, depending on Florida traffic and what the Disney area looks like in Orlando as you cross the state. They're going to do all that to play a team they could throw a stone at as well, similar to me. The University of Tampa Spartans at 13-7-0. They're the 6 overall seed. We got College Hockey South versus College Hockey South. Not just that, we got two teams with the same they're all 727s down here on the phone code. They got the same area code, and they're going to be battling one another up in Duval. It's an all-Florida matchup in Pool E there. They're joined by the 15 and 16 seeds overall. First, the Purple Eagles of Niagara University at 13-9 on the year, and the 16-seeded Spiders. Fat Perez loves the Richmond squad more than most at 9-6-0. The University of Richmond Spiders, they will join this group, and they'll play South Florida on day one. Tampa will play Niagara on day one of this pool. Day two will be South Florida against Niagara, Richmond against Tampa, and day three, Niagara will play Richmond, but more importantly, the Dan K battle in D2, University of Tampa, University of South Florida. Winner gets to keep the bridge here in St. Pete. They get to keep it. They get to hold on to it. Winner gets to continue to hang out in downtown Tampa, downtown St. Pete, the whole area. Winner takes all in that one, Tampa versus University of South Florida. Some of the notable performances this season, you talk about Paul Smith's College, very own Attila Quelsnell, 59 points this year. He led all point getters in the league this go-around, 27 goals, 32 assists, the best in D2. Grant Dietz of the University of South Florida, we just talked about there in Pool E in this one. He had 32 goals this season. That was better than all comers. 26 assists, 58 points. You look at Brendan Ogle and Ethan DeMumbrum, the human drumroll as we call him, and Matthew Siciliano from the Middle Tennessee State University D2. They had 53, 52, and 51 points. That is, we talked about Middle Tennessee State taking on Anna Maria. Anna Maria could win it all. if they can get by Middle Tennessee State. They're going to score it in bunches. They're going to score quick on you. High points, Jack Slayton with 49 points on the campaign. We can't wait to get out and see this one. You're going to get detailed coverage, breakdowns of all the teams, and our selections in upcoming content. But before that, we've got more work to do. We've got to unveil the D3 pools, 3 pools of teams, 12 teams to announce. They will have their names called right here on the air. Stick around. Dan K of The Dan K Show with you to come. Welcome back, AAU hockey fans. We are ready to unveil the D3 National Tournament. 12 teams will join into this one. 3 pools of 4 teams. Each team will play a round-robin style tournament, playing each other one time. Each pool will have a champion declared with one wild card team joining the bunch to play a semi-final showdown on day 4 of the tournament. Those semifinals will be single elimination, getting us to day 5 and the final day of the tournament, where we crown our AAU Division III National Champion in Duval, Jacksonville, Florida. Dan K of The Dan K Show on your call right now to unveil these names, these teams that we will see from around the country. We start off in Pool A. And the way we will do things here today, the way things will be run this year, 12 teams will punch their ticket. Those teams will be ranked from 1 to 12. In the same way that you draft your fantasy team at home, for those of you who do a snake draft, it is a snake style. The 1 seed will play in Pool A, the 2 in Pool B, the 3 in Pool C. They will serve as the top seeds. Then the 4th seed overall will serve as the 2 seed in Pool C. The 5th seed will be in Pool B. The 6th seed will be in Pool A. So on and so forth until we have a 12-team tournament named. We start in Pool A, the number 1 overall seed out of the ACCHL. It is the 13-5-0 Liberty University. Liberty is synonymous with winning at this level of hockey, a school that continues to do just that. 100 goals scored this year, an even 100, only 49 goals allowed. A 51-plus goal differential on the season, 19 power play goals on the year as well. A pretty potent team in terms of special teams. The biggest story for them, 196 penalty minutes in their 18 games, the least penalized team in all of the ACCHL. They'll be joined by the number 6 overall squad in this tournament. In the pool, it is St. John's Fisher. They serve as the number 2 overall in Pool A. St. John's Fisher out of the upstate New York Collegiate Hockey League. They went 17-3-1 this year, good enough for 35 points. 149 goals scored. This team can score it. They can score it a lot. They can score it often. 93 was the plus for them, and the plus minus a plus 93 for St. John Fisher. At number 7, back to the ACCHL we go, up to New Jersey, the home state of the Dan K Show, where Dan K originally derived from as just a young lad. Rowan University, they get that 3rd spot in Pool A at 14-4-1 with a plus 33 goal differential on the year and 29 power play goals. The 4th and final team in Pool A, coming from the Delaware Valley squads there, the Delaware Valley Collegiate Hockey Conference, it is none other than Alvernia University. Alvernia went 7-8-2, topping the Del Val Collegiate Hockey Conference's go-around. A team with just a plus 6 goal differential. It is going to be a tough road ahead for Alvernia University as they will pick off their tournament against the difficult-to-deal-with Liberty University squad. St. John Fisher will play Rowan on day 1. Liberty will play Alvernia on day 1 of pool play. Day 2, Liberty will play Rowan. Alvernia will be tasked with dealing with St. John Fisher. Finally, on the final day of pool play, Liberty will take on St. John Fisher, and Rowan will battle Alvernia in a Eastern PA, Southwestern Jersey type matchup there, a tale as old as time in that region for folks like myself. We go to Pool B. Pool B is every tournament. We talked about it in D2. We've talked about it in D1. We talked about it in the women's group as well. There's always a group of death. There's always a pool of death. And Pool B in D3 is that for me the toughest pool to get out of in my mind. The toughest pool to survive is going to be this one. And it all starts with the number 2 overall team in the tournament. From the Empire Collegiate Hockey Conference, it is Columbia University. They went 11-6-1 this season, 123 goals scored, but that is not the story. The story is Brandon Avazov. This guy has been unstoppable, to say the least. I would argue the most dominating season in the history of all histories. He has played 18 times this season. And Brandon has 104 points, 52 goals for, 52 assists. Think about 52 goals in 18 games, only 14 of them. Sorry, only 9 of them coming on the power play. 14 of his assists coming on the power play. He also had 4 shorthanded goals this season. Brandon has been the best player in all the land, but he'll have to deal with a team that finished above him in the conference standings at the end of the year with a plus 78 goal differential, and Lucas Jones's alma mater. Sing the song for us, Lucas. Rutgers University, the Scarlet Knights at 18-5-1 on the season, a plus 78 goal differential. If Columbia and Brandon didn't exist, I'd say Rutgers wins it all, but they got to go through the best in all the land to get there. That matchup on day 3 of pool play will be unrealistic, unreal, and just untenable for fans. It's going to be so fun to watch. At number 8 overall in the tourney out of the ACCHL, coming into this one, the Mountaineers of Appalachian State University, 13-8 on the season, a plus 61 goal differential, 141 goals scored. That was the most by 38 in the ACCHL this season in 21 games played. They are an offense first team. They will open things up and try to run and gun with you all day long. Finally, the last team to punch their ticket to nationals in Pool B, the 11 overall seed in the tourney at a College Hockey South. Rocky Top, oh, Rocky Top. It's the University of Tennessee Volunteers, and I wouldn't volunteer to play this team. This is a team with a plus 94 goal differential. You're not going to see many 16-3-1 teams serving as the worst team in a pool. Tennessee going to take on that honor in the pool of death, Dan K's group of death, Pool B. Columbia, Rutgers, Appalachian State, Tennessee. This is going to be a slugfest. This is a boxing match of the generations. You take like a prime Muhammad Ali, you put him with a prime Mike Tyson, a prime Lennox Lewis, and then you throw him in the ring with Vlad Klitschko. And these guys are just going at it right now, okay? And Tyson Fury's coming in from the back like a Royal Rumble to start battling as well. These 4 teams, Columbia, Rutgers, Appalachian State, Tennessee, will all be battling. Day 1, Columbia takes on Tennessee. Rutgers takes on Appalachian State. Day 2 of the tournament, Columbia will take on Appalachian State as Rutgers takes on Tennessee. And the final day of the tournament, Rutgers takes on Columbia, the number 1 overall in this group, as Appalachian State takes on Tennessee. Pool C. The storyline here in Pool C starts with the boys from South Carolina. South Carolina, the Gamecocks at a College Hockey South lead things off. They went 15-0-1 this year. They were not defeated. They were tied but a once. Plus 70 goal differential. They allowed just 32 goals on the year. Of all qualifying teams, they were the best defensively all season long. They've been the best up and down the ice, and they come in as a 3 seed. In this one, USC, the South Carolina Gamecocks, at number 3 overall. They'll have to deal with Coastal Carolina, the Chanticleers, whatever a Chanticleer is. A Chanticleer versus a Gamecock. We talked about South Jersey v. Eastern Pennsylvania, a tale as old as time. Gamecocks versus Chanticleers also seems like a rivalry that most have to deal with down in the Southeast. Coastal Carolina, they come into this one of the ACCHL, even 7-7 on the year, but serving as that 2 seed in the group and the 4 overall. Next up in Pool C, the 9 team, Stony Brook from the Empire. Stony Brook comes into this one looking for some big-time battle. with Coastal Carolina. You look at Stony Brook right now at 17-5-0. They're saying, how's the 500 team ahead of us here in the pool? What are we doing? Why are we sleeping on the Empire? They're saying we got Rutgers up here at 5. We got Columbia at 2. We got a 17-5 record up in the Empire, and you got us having to deal with Coastal and with South Carolina in this pool, in Pool C. Stony Brook going to look to make some waves. The Wolves trying to bite back as Fairfield Stags are our final team to join us, the 10 overall, the fourth and final seed in Pool C from the Empire as well. South Carolina, Coastal Carolina, Stony Brook, and Fairfield, the quad squads in Pool C. South Carolina will take on Fairfield on day one. Stony Brook versus Coastal Carolina on day one as well. And then South Carolina versus Stony Brook day two. Coastal versus Fairfield. And the final day will pit Carolina v. Carolina, the southern version versus the coastal version, as Stony Brook will play Fairfield. Those are your 12 teams. We remind you, every point, every goal, every minute, every second of hockey will matter at this tournament. Every single inch of ice will matter. 3 teams will win their pool. They'll make it easy on themselves. They'll know they're moving on. 1 team will stand needing a tiebreaker potentially, needing a certain amount of points potentially. Who will serve as the wild card, ladies and gentlemen? You'll have to wait and see. Stay tuned. Coming up over the next few days and weeks here leading to the national tournament, myself, Dan Kay, my colleague Lucas Jones, and special guests will talk all things AAU D1, D2 and D3 men's national championships, as well as the AAU Division I women's national championships on your most watched show in all of hockey, the Dan K Show. Be sure to follow along on social media and join the conversation at _Dan K Show, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, TikTok as well, or go to our website, www.dankshow.com. You can also download the AAU College Hockey app onto your phone to stay tuned with all the scores, schedules, standings, and updates. And you can go to aaucollegehockey.org now to find out everything you need to know about nationals in Duval. See you there.